night of the next full moon, Peleus and Thetis had a wedding. The goddess Athena gave them a sharp spear as a gift. The goddess Eris gave them a golden breastplate emblazoned with silver stars. The next goddess was the goddess of love, Aphrodite, who took from her finger a ring and gave it to Thetis. Next came Poseidon, the god of the sea, with 4 white horses. Then Zeus came with an army of ant warriors made into men called the Myrmidons. The Myrmidons were the fiercest army in the world. Eris, the goddess of strife and arguing, wasn't invited. She was very angry, so she dropped down her own gift of an apple. Written on the apple was, "To the fairest of them all," and each goddess insisted that Peleus give her the apple. Peleus looked from one to the other. He had no idea who to give it to. So here comes Zeus, who now has a terrible headache, and he takes the apple away from Peleus and says nothing more of it. "17 long years pass, and Zeus has a terrible headache. The goddesses are still arguing and bickering about who is the most beautiful. Suddenly he sees a beautiful young man down below, a king's son. He will decide who is the one who is the most beautiful. So he calls Hermes, the messenger of the gods, and he asked Hermes to strap on his winged sandals and fly down to tell Paris that he's been chosen. Hermes comes down in a flash, and he says, "Paris, I've been sent by the great father Zeus, and he has told me to tell you that you must decide which of these 3 goddesses is the most beautiful." And he clicks his fingers. Paris is shocked to see that he's in Mount Olympus with the goddess Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera. Hera noticed that Aphrodite was wearing her belt of desire, so she made her take it off. Hermes gave the apple to Paris, and Hera stepped forward. She said, "Paris, choose me, and I will make you king over the whole of Europe and the whole of Asia." And she stepped back. And then Athena came forward, and she said, "Paris, choose me, and you will never lose a battle. You will be famous for your wisdom and your cleverness." And she stepped back. And Aphrodite came forward, and she said, "Paris, choose me. I will give you the most beautiful woman in the world." And Paris said, "Who is she?" "Her name is Helen, the wife of Menelaus, king of Sparta. I will bind her with love for you." Paris looked around, and he gave the apple to Aphrodite. And the other goddesses pretended to be supportive, but they were steaming mad. Later on, Hera and Athena laughed and planned the death of Paris and the destruction of Troy. When Paris got home, Aphrodite shot him with the arrow of love for Helen. He sailed across the seas. Here is Helen with her husband Menelaus, and Menelaus says, "Helen, here's my friend Paris. I'm going to go away. Can you entertain him for a little bit?" So off Menelaus goes, and Paris is heavily flirting with Helen. And Helen's like, "Why are you flirting with me? My husband's over there." Well, Aphrodite steps in and shoots Helen with her arrow of love. And now Helen's in love with Paris, Paris is in love with Helen, and they decide to run away together. Well, the men saw this, and here comes Menelaus, and he's like, "Where's Helen? Where's Paris?" And they said, "Dude, they went off and ran off together. They look like they're in love."